at you. BT-14 tier list. I probably didn't even change the title on Twitch. We always forget that. You know how we roll. We got the whole squad here, minus Red Joe. We're gonna sound off. Everybody on deck. Know what I'm saying? We got Dread Joker here. Sound off.
Yo.
We got Spider-Man Jones. Sound off.
I'm here.
We got Fossil Lord. Sound off. We got Fossil Lord.
I'm also
sound
here.
off.
Said hi.
Oh, okay, there you go. We got Arcade Kaze sound off.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
We got Card Fight King sound off.
The king is here.
We got Black Ace 21 sound off.
Hi. What's wrong with you?
A lot to cough up, Joe. You all right?
Bro.
Chogo on that.
I'm feeling great. Come with it, bro. Come with it.
Come with it. So we're gonna be discussing the BT-14 meta. We're gonna start with the keep it at locals tier 3 first, just to knock it out. And I think we can all agree that Diaboromon just got to get up there. You know, we got to put Diaboromon
Keep it at locals.
No, that's an EX5 waiting room.
For what?
That's when the premium Bandai stuff comes out.
Oh,
The
Dorian.
premium
No.
Bandai. What do you
Nah.
mean?
Well, I think the premium Bandai.
You mean the reprints?
Yeah, the Ace cards.
The Ace cards is a box stopper for
They're
BT-14.
boxed. Damn.
Yes,
That's what I'm
sir.
You
BT-14
keep that
is
shit at
stuffed,
locals.
bro.
Yeah, that stays at locals.
All right. So we all
You better not see y'all in tournaments with that.
Can it move? There we go. Oops, I didn't even put Bill Star up there. Not yet. All right, we got.
I could argue that it would be somewhere like low tier 2, but yeah, I wouldn't take it past a local level. So
Fair enough.
keep it at locals is probably a good place for it.
Yeah, Beelstar got shot.
Supermon could probably go into keep it at locals too, right? Like I know they get the new plugin, but I'm not sure if that, does anything to go past locals, right?
I think Sukumon is actually pretty playable.
I actually think
Keep it
that
at
they
locals.
go in the EX5 waiting room because they get some really good top end
Oh yeah,
stuff on the.
Adamant side.
Yeah.
I was going
TJ, scroll up a little bit
Yeah.
so they can see the top of the chart. There we go.
Okay, my bad. Yeah, I say EX5 waiting room for like King Suka stuff, man, because that new Edamon is actually really
Really?
Yeah,
good.
it's pretty solid. I'm not gonna lie.
Gomamon, that's Blue Sword Strip. Where do you guys think Blue Sword Strip?
That's pretty competitive.
Here.
We're trying to do keep it at local stuff first.
No, I think
No, I
I
think
think
we're
that could be
just
tier 1.5, maybe tier 2.
Sword Trip is pretty good.
Yeah.
If we're trying to do keep it at locals, the next thing I see is armor.
True.
Yeah.
Wait. Do you guys want to work through this through the list, or do you want to start picking out local stuff?
We're picking out local stuff first.
Picking out local stuff.
Okay.
got your weak
Bagramon
decks.
stays at locals.
Why do I see 2 Magnamon X's? Wait,
You shouldn't.
I see the Magnamon X right next to Gallant.
There's only
No, there's only
Where's
one
the other one?
Magnamon. We see the second
Yeah,
one.
but
There's
you got
one
Flamedramon.
Magnamon. One is armor, and I guess the other's armor control.
Yeah, Flame Dramon
Which-
is
It's a really
which,
different-
which both go at local. So you can go ahead and move that up there, right next to the little buddy.
Listen, I'd always go for playable, but
Hold on.
It's hard. It's hard. It's lonely out here. You don't want to go alone. Take your buddy Magnamon X with you.
Yeah, it's castle playable, but otherwise keep it at locals. I would
Beast.
say
It's Castle
Oh,
playable, dog.
you did not have to name
Jeez,
drop them.
you can't name drop like that.
That's HR,
God,
ladies and
you're
ladies and
supposed to be
gentlemen.
the HR department, dog. What?
what Dorian terrorized people at castles with armor control. So
I got
Those
to 8
people.
security.
yeah, I was about
What?
to say, so everywhere helps to keep it at locals.
I was so happy.
Enough. Cease and desist.
With both Serafi and Magma X out. That was a fun game.
What y'all feeling about Bagramon?
Bagramon,
Keep it at locals.
You either keep it at local.
Keep it under the locals.
It's It's not. It can't even go in waiting room because there's nothing in that set that'll help it.
I mean, it gets some promos and it
It
gets
gets
some
some
stuff.
promos and it gets some
What, like
stuff,
the
but
Dark Knight
nothing
card?
that really helps it. There's nothing that really gives it that oomph it needs to be a playable deck. It's still...
It's in a really
It's
weird
actually more
spot.
playable if you run with the Hunter's engine.
Yeah, but that's lame.
I know.
Okay,
It's not
fair.
lame. It's not lame. It works,
Mhm.
but it's still not.
Good.
You know.
Dark Knightmon, I'd say keep it at locals.
Is it Dark Knightmon?
Eh,
Honestly, I'm not.
I think Dark Knight's playable. Let's
Yeah,
go.
I'll-
Let's go for another safe bet. Monzemon.
Yeah,
Is
I
that
was just looking at
Monzemon I
that.
see there?
Yeah.
Put that in the
Locals,
EX5 waiting
please.
room,
Oh,
or
wait.
keep it at
No.
locals.
Too many colors.
Keep it
I
at
can't
locals.
find him. Where is he?
It's in between.
It's in
Right
the
under,
middle of
right-
the entire thing.
Right under Zord defeat.
Next.
Okay,
Right above
thank
top.
you. I could
Yeah,
find him.
it doesn't get anything from EX5, so just put it in locals. It gets stuff in BT-16. I
You don't
actually
even
might
know
make
that.
that.
How the fuck do you
Wait,
know
how
that?
do you figure
I'm
that
sorry,
out?
How did
BT,
you
BT-15,
deduce that?
BT-15.
I was about to say, how the fuck did you
My
figure that out?
uncle works at Bandai. Trust me.
Trust and believe.
Man knows about some future drops and ain't telling us.
How y'all feel about Examon?
Now,
Is that another
Phoenix?
keep it at locals there?
I'd say
What?
it's playable.
Examon's playable.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It's
Phoenix
not
Mon-
competitive, but it's playable.
With all the
What?
training cards, I think Examon's fast enough to keep up.
No.
Nah.
I'd say more the problem is that we're about to go into what I think will be a pretty source strip.
I mean,
Not
they do
heavy,
get-
but definitely their meta. And if you source strip Examon, it's kind of just
doesn't Examon get the new Dracomon promo?
It
as a
does get
box?
the new Dracobone promo, yeah.
what is that?
And
enough?
you could build it as a primarily blue deck and run the blue training. Because if we really think about it, Examon is a blue green deck, but a lot of its like
Blue.
core and good pieces are blue.
Top of keep it at locals.
Keep it at locals. Okay.
Top of keep it at locals.
Top of keep it at
Gamamon, keep it at locals. Phoenixmon, keep
So
it at locals.
Gamamon is playable.
Diarbitmon, keep it at locals.
Yeah, it's
playable at locals.
Sheesh.
I'd say Diabramon is also pretty playable.
No, I think it's playable at locals.
I think it's pretty playable.
I think
Are you gonna?
I would say
I-
Diarbit
really quick before
goes
we
in the
go
X5
forward,
waiting room.
before we go anywhere forward,
Really?
All the Ghost Game stuff just waiting for the limited set.
I just want to put Grandis at the end of tier 3. That's all.
Why
That's
is he
all.
even there? Why is he even
I
here?
forgot to remove him. Honestly.
Grandis is
Who invited
gone.
this guy? Who
Grandis
invited
doesn't
this
exist
guy?
anymore.
Swear to God. I think Diarbit.
I would say
is playable.
Diarbit could go at the bottom of EX5. It's not really
But it-
EX5 that it's waiting for. It's more like BT-15.
That's
But
what
that
we know the limited
thing-
set.
But
would
it,
be what, the
I
LM
don't
set?
know when we're getting the LM set, but some of the Leomon stuff could
so-
work with Diarbit.
The Arbit is pretty solid right now, though. Like
It's not. It's not.
I don't know.
It's
I
to
beat
see your
Belkaron
cards.
with it.
It's not gonna. Okay, you beat one bad belt from my player. It's not.
Wow.
Stop! He said stop.
I also name
Listen.
dropping Dorian.
I'm not gonna name drop him.
Oh, it's a him.
You just.
Out of himself.
Rabbit. You know,
I heavily argue for him being a playable, but I'm getting out of
What
it.
about Rabbit? What about Amphimon? Is that also an EX5 waiting room? Or is
Nah.
that
That's
local?
definitely playable.
That's actually
Amphimon's got too many weapons with the blue source strip stuff. Too many weapons.
I do agree.
And with the new Bukamon, you just get jamming.
But anyways,
Actually-
now that I feel like we've covered all of the keep it at locals, so
Well,
because
hold on.
we're starting to bleed out of keep it at locals, so we might as well
What?
go in order now.
Is Phoenixmon also keep it at locals or just barely playable?
No, keep it at locals. Just keep the joint at locals. It's never gonna be seen. Keep it at locals.
BT-15
Probably-
it might be up some.
Yeah,
No.
BT-15 waiting room for sure.
Okay, now
but
here's
we
the
don't have
question:
that here, so keep
Is
it
it
at
better
locals.
than or worse than Grandis?
It's higher than
It's
Grandis.
way
better. It's
Put it
underneath
like
Barbamon.
right.
It's-
Keep it like right next to Diaboromon.
Oh, it beats
That's
armor.
pretty
Oh.
high. I actually don't
Put
know how
it, put
Phoenixmon
it in
plays.
front of Armor Control, but behind Armor Rush.
No, I think it could actually beat Armor Rush because we get the
fast.
That's what I'm
Saber.
saying, that's what I'm saying.
We get the Saber Dramon promo.
So like this,
Yeah, I
No.
think it goes right there.
Oh,
Right
like,
there's
it
a
beats
nice
that?
one.
like that.
Oh.
Hmm?
Oh.
No, I think
Oh,
it goes
no.
right next to Diabormon because that Saber Dramon promo is something it desperately needed.
Okay, fair.
What? Raid? Retaliation?
Yeah,
Fair.
But don't
and
armor just
and
auto
just
purchase?
and just another bird in general.
Mm.
I think we can start moving down the list now that we got all the rubbish out the way.
Goemon
All
is
right.
competitive.
I'm gonna like crack my fingers because I'm ready to argue.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah, I like arguing.
All right, so tier 1. What do we think is the best deck going into BT-14?
Oh, we're not just going down the
Greymon.
list.
Nah, let's go in order on the list. Let's not go down
Oh,
like
on the list.
1.5. Yeah, let's start with blue good stuff.
I vote that a
Source strip
competitive.
Oh, 100%.
1.5.
Yeah,
1.5.
I think we
agree.
can all agree with that. It's kind of toxic.
Because
I-
Blue
I-
Good
I-
Stuff is just a good amalgamation of like the toxic weapons you mentioned Amphimon gets. Tommy is unrestricted, so he gets that as well. And it's, I mean, like you could also source strip like ace cards from under megas and everything, like very easily. Well, actually,
Tommy becomes a hammer spark.
he really
Think
is.
about that.
That's why I'm just like, bro, like I feel like it's definitely 1.5.
What's the top? What is the top end for the source strip stuff? Because from what I've been hearing, like people haven't been using Vikemon, but they don't use really. They only I don't know if they use Vikemon at like the full Gomamon line. But what I've heard is that, and we'll probably cover this too. But like Ulforce has been the best top end from what I've heard from people testing that uses the Gomamon source strip line. But I don't know what the exact top end for the deck is.
I seen Japan
There's
using
so many
Mirage.
different things. Like you could
Okay.
use Mirage, you could use
The new
All
Glaceomon.
Force, you could use Amphimon, the new Placemon, because there is no Vikemon that really. I mean, there's old Vikemons, but Placemon was the top of the Gomamon line.
So it's more of Gomamon lines are more of just an engine than anything else.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
It's
just-
blue good
it's
stuff.
just blue
Like you
good
literally
stuff.
just slap together a bunch of
Blue.
good blue cards, Sorai,
Zudamon
Tommy,
Ace.
the Gomamon line, Zudamon Ace, and you just
Not
go
to
vroom.
mention, you got Kazuhamon plus Marching Fishes.
Oh.
It's like even if you can't stun, even if you can't source strip, you can still stun. It's like, yeah, nah. It really is just blue.
I did not expect to find marching fishes. Zuki was just like, "Hey, what's a good option to use with Kazuhamon?" I was just like, "I don't know. Let me go through all of the options." And I'm just like, "Wait a minute. Marching fishes just turns Kazuhamon into a blue flare metal gray."
You want to know what's funny? We weren't even thinking about that for source strip at first. That was for what, armor, right? Like
Yeah, we were
armor,
thinking about armor
DNA?
armor control as a top end.
Yeah.
But in blue good stuff, that might be a move.
Matter of fact, go ahead and put Armor Rush above Phoenixmon.
Put armor control above
Armor
Phoenix
Control,
Mods.
yeah.
Right,
Go ahead and
okay.
put Armor Control above Phoenixmon off the Marching Fishes bonus.
For
Yeah.
real.
Yeah.
That the fish difference.
Fish diff, baby.
So what about the Patamon vaccine stuff? What do you have to say?
Highly
Highly
competitive.
competitive.
Highly
There's no
competitive.
arguing here. There's no
Highly
arguing
competitive.
here.
All right, what would I particularly want to hear from our resident hater man and Fossil Lord on this.
Listen, that was a very bad game. All right, so I played Leviamon into what is it? Into
Yellow
Jared's
vaccines?
yellow
Yeah.
vaccine deck. Not once did he like put my virus on my security. He just kept going to like 6 or 7 memory every fucking turn.
No, I did it the first.
I've never seen somebody get paid to digivolve up to a level 6 from a level 3. I've never seen that before. He started at level 3 and started at 3 memory and ended up with 5. And I'm like, wait, you got a level 6. How did you go up in memory? I've never there was so many games where I've just like never felt so helpless.
Right? Just watching this happen.
I played Imperial into it, and on my turn 2, I took him down to 2 security. The game ended with me at 0 and him at 7. It was just like, yeah, nah, you can't even come and spectate. You gotta watch the game from the beginning, otherwise you're gonna miss the context.
Honestly,
You're gonna be like, what kind of slaughterfest was this? Like, no, I actually tried. I almost had it.
It
I
makes
checked more
me
security
want
than
to
him and
build
got
it.
buttered.
Only haters give context.
We just
Hey,
listen. Shit needed
we're
context.
we're a group of haters. I don't know what you expect.
You want to know what's crazy about that statement though about going from 2 to 7? Normally with yellow, I'm conditioned to think, oh, it's because I kept checking like holy waves or all these Saki recovery options. You don't. It's all Digimon in there. It's all
There's
Digimon.
no-
It's all
Like,
Digimon.
Oops,
and
all
AV to Wyvern's
Digimon.
Breath. That's the
I
crazy
mean-
part. It's not even like Setcod like in terms of the options. It's just all yellow vaccines and pain. That's it.
And recovery. They just recover
Yeah.
so much.
Congo's gonna be at least a one-off in every black deck this set. It's gotta be
For
at
sure.
least a one-off.
For sure.
Probably want to run 2.
So that's highly competitive. What about Billstar? How y'all feel about Billstar?
Keep that shit at locals.
No, that is
Whoa,
playable.
hold on.
That
Yes,
is playable.
EX5 waiting room for Billstar right now.
Okay, yeah, I can agree with that.
Okay.
For the Garurumon engine.
Billstar right now it did get hit the government her, but the deck was still kind of slow for them. Like I'm trying out like the Garuma stuff, and it's definitely more of an attack centric deck. You can digivolve and you can drop, draw, and discard, but the deck still relies heavily on having a good security, but also you lost a lot of your drop and draw speed as well. So because of the speed drop, we have to wait till we get the full Melga line support in EX5 to have a better synergy of that blue purple synergy as the base for Beelstar to be effective. So right now, just wait.
Fair enough.
We'll be fine. Just wait.
Bergidramon or Digi.
I think that's highly competitive. I haven't tested it much, but I know it's at least highly competitive.
See, the thing about
Why don't you put it in competitive, since you haven't had any playtesting?
Oh, sorry. I meant to say competitive, not highly competitive.
Okay, yeah.
I play tested.
I meant to say competitive.
And it's fine. The thing is, since you spawn the bodies out at the end of your turn, they don't get rushed or anything kind of like super crazy. So they can easily be dealt with on the opponent's turn. That's the only issue with like the new D-Brigade stuff. It's cute that you can.
Isn't part of it though that they're like
Sticky.
meant to take the hit for a Brigade Dramon so we can just keep spawning more out?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just Commandramons at the end of the day. The most like degenerate thing they can do is
You cut out.
Oh my bad. It's just Commandramons at the end of the day. The most degenerate thing they could do is like, what's that, DCD bomb or something like that? That's a really good option. But other than that, it's just typical Commandramon.
DC bomb?
Yeah,
DCD bomb.
DCD bomb. That's like the scariest thing they have. Other than that, it's just typical.
But doesn't Brigadramon pops you when digivolving?
Just 7.
Pops the play cost of 7 or lower,
7
I think.
or lower. That's it.
But yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, dying the next turn it comes out is pretty fucking bad.
Yeah.
Oh
wait, it pops. It pops a number of Digimon up to 7 play cost.
Yeah.
So it can like wipe out a bunch of rookies.
It's not that
2 rookies.
Like, it's okay. It's an okay deck. But I think because
it also
all
gives all the Commandramon, all of the D Brigade blocker. So
yeah,
they get blocker and it gives the stack protection.
But this is
they give you the high Commandramon.
This is my thing. Everyone's going to be playing the floodgates that say you can't play Digimon. Like, I mean, you could pop him. You could pop the floodgate.
Really?
But yeah. Oh, hell yeah. This set? Oh, hell yeah.
I mean, I only see like blue and purple really play those often.
Red Sky.
Oh, yeah, I still think Psychmon probably be like the floodgate or like maybe like a Digivolution reduction blocker.
Those Digivolution.
Definitely Digivolution reduction blocker.
They're so useless. Tell them, Jared. Tell them the Digivolution reduction blockers are useless.
How are they useless?
They don't.
The training cards?
The training cards are faster than them. Like, let's say you run like 2 floodgates, right? And the person runs 4 training cards. That's just mathematically going to see the training cards before that you even get to the floodgate. You get what I'm saying? Like,
I get what you're saying.
I
I'm
put
just
some
saying,
like
India.
I put some like
I mean, some colors just don't have other
yeah, of
floodgates
course,
to
yeah,
run,
of
so you
course.
just kind of run the flood.
You gotta just run the floodgates you have access to, of course. But in like my just experience, it's just better to stop the spawning
But what
as
happened? He
opposed
used
to.
his trainings to find his floodgate.
I mean, that's then we're getting into like Mike levels of fucking what ifs. You know, at that point, you know what I'm saying? We could go back, we could go back and forth on what ifs all day. I'm just saying, in my
If
experience,
X, then Y.
yeah, it basically.
Yeah, I
If
think-
X, then Y.
I'm just saying it basically.
So I
It's
think
better to
for-
just stop the fucking spawning outright as opposed to like, and yeah, of course, slowing them down with the trainings is with the training like floodgates is good, but just like stopping bodies is just as good, basically.
I guess it also depends on the meta, right? What decks are playing like bodies like Bloom, Royal Knights, D-Brigade, stuff like that.
D-Brigade, Finraluga,
Almost
Mon.
everything is floating bodies. This is a very wide format.
This is a super wide format.
Oh, it's a double
FX
decker
is gonna go
format.
crazy.
we're not going tall anymore, guys. We're
Going
we're
wide.
going lateral.
I wouldn't be surprised if I see a resurgence of DefX. That's all I'm gonna say.
Your
Oh,
FX
for
is
sure.
now.
Everybody's gonna be teching DeathX
Oh,
for
100%.
Lugamon.
Crimson Blaze too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And all that stops D-Brigade.
So I think tier 2 is a good home for a D Brigade.
I say in the top of tier 2. It's probably the best tier 2.
Do you think it's better to run the Pride Memory Boost for D Brigade
Oh, hell
or
no.
the Black Training Cards?
Black training cards, 100%. You need if you don't see Brigidomon, you just lose.
So it's not competitive then.
Not really.
You can play it though.
You can
It's
play
competitive.
it. It's fine.
All right, I think you're being too strict. with
Stop being
your-
hating, Clay. Put that shit in
No.
competitive.
The way Clay is talking, it's if it's not tier 1, it's playable at locals.
Now you said
Yeah,
something.
I'm not saying. I just said you're putting it as playable, but I'm just like,
You
so
drinking
it's just
that tonight, huh?
it's not a deck you would take to regionals.
Nah,
Some
hell
people could,
Some
and
people
those
could.
people.
So
No,
I think
some people
that-
could. If that is your prerogative, go for it. Will you top the event?
No,
If you're good enough, if your pairings are good enough, but
said no.
there's definitely decks that are more likely to top, and that's not one of them.
Blue Flare would just eat your ass out.
It got too much against it, bro. It's got too much against it.
Blue Flare's gonna go crazy this format.
But that's why it's in tier 2 and not
It's too
keep
much
it at
against-
locals because
okay.
it's gonna struggle boxing into the stuff above it. But
If
it's still better than the local decks.
if Brigidomon
Not to
came out
mention
in
Black Ops.
BT9, it would probably be the best deck. Okay.
That's because
Okay.
BT9
It
was
didn't.
cracked for
It's
like
in tier
no
2.
reason.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
so
Finralugamon,
Lugamon.
highly competitive.
Highly
Tier one.
competitive.
Yeah, tier 1.
We don't
Tier
really need to
one.
explain that.
So is it
Yeah.
better or worse than yellow vaccines?
Better. Because they
Ah.
lost
It's-
Joe Grave.
that's
Ah.
a toss-up matchup.
That's a toss-up. I think it's 50-50. Not gonna lie.
I agree. I think when I was testing this against Jared, like the one thing that it's like he popped off game 2, I started to pop off. The only thing that really dunked on me was not alliancing with the Black Gatomon for the extra DP because I hit Contorosmon and it hit the DP exactly. Other than that, though, there was nothing really that Fenrir was scared of swinging in, and then you
Zaki, you are forgetting one key factor.
what that is.
Gold Rapidmon is a that you could put into security and Digivolve for free on top of Patamon.
That's what I was getting though. Like 'cause when you swarm the board, when you're just checking security, you're not really scared of much of anything. If they have the like Rapidmon, then yeah, no, they set you back to the Stone Ages. But like, if they don't get that, and you know you're doing your thing, you're popping off, like we said earlier, their security is surprisingly all Digimon, maybe the 1 or 2 Wyvern's Breath, but that's it. If they don't have that, you kind of just clean up. But on the other end, like you said, they have Rapidmon, they can just keep recovering. They can always DP reduce anything that's on board so that you can't really get set up. and it just becomes hell. So it really is 50-50, but in terms of whoever goes above the
Fair.
other, like I guess which deck like tackles most of the meta better? Because
See,
I would say Fenry probably, but I
the
don't
reason
know.
why I put Fenrir a little bit over that is because it's probably one of the purest OTK decks you can
When you're
probably have, and they
you're
can just spawn a whole bunch of level fours, and all of a sudden you think they don't have the last check Chimera per game, and you can't really stop that.
That's true. That's true.
I think
All right.
I think yellow vaccine is good for like swarming, but it's hard to interact with OTKs and like Digimon really. Like I mean,
Yellow Vaccine is a deck where I think people may think Yellow Vaccine is more. I think the majority of people think it's in the tier 1.5, probably because I've seen Jared in our playtesting sessions really work with the deck. I definitely think that your build and how you're playing with the deck and your approach to different matchups, I think is definitely more apparent in that deck. I think Fenrir Lugama, why it would be more tier one over Yellow Vaccine, is purely for the fact that the deck has like two lines of play. You either go into Hell Lugarmon to set up, or you're going into Fenrir Lugamon to blow up your opponent's security and try to win the game. The real, really the difference is what are you digivolving into, and what are you attacking with, and which chain are you trying to start off, either
yeah,
set up or swarm board and try to swing for game. I mean, that's really it. And because it's such a simple game plan and a simple build, the deck really kind of builds itself. Training card, analog use, miss memory boost, and then the Lugamon line and Fangmon. Really,
yeah.
that's really it. So I think it's just tier one, just from the ease of deck building and the fact that you kind of play the same game every matchup.
Mm.
And if you don't, you don't.
Well, you don't. How y'all feeling about SatCon?
Deck
Playable.
card
Playable.
playable.
I don't know. You do get the new
A lot of
Magma.
decks just don't care about Secon.
Damn. Is it better than
That's a
Deep?
BT-16.
No, he's talking about the Ace.
Oh, Magma Ace.
Yeah. So is it better than D Brigade?
I think that's better than D Brigade.
Okay.
Like it will gatekeep the shit out of like most of the tier two.
Well,
But
here's what I think. Succon as a deck is never really good per se. It's decent. It all boils down to who's sitting across the table, because pretty much any deck can beat Succon as long as the person knows how to play against Succon.
Hmm.
But the thing is, a lot of people don't know how to play against Succon, so that's why it's at tier 2. Otherwise, if everybody knew how to play against Succon, I would say keep that at locals. But
What
it's a
about
tricky deck to play against.
No, you
So
right.
It's a deck for people who don't want to actually win the game.
true.
That's how I feel.
Play for the tie.
Play for the team.
Play to
Exactly.
not play to not win.
Exactly.
How about how y'all feeling about Melgax?
EX5 waiting room.
EX5 waiting room.
The X5 waiting room, then it pops off.
right
I
now
think
it's
it's
like
kind of
fairly
just
right
at like
now.
tier 3.
It's playable right now,
It's
but
just not great right now.
so you can put it at the top of the X5 waiting room because he's got one foot in the door and he's peeking around the corner.
Yeah.
You know what? Beostar could go right next to him because it uses the exact same engine.
That's true.
That is facts. How about Jessmon? I think Jessmon is
Ooh.
competitive.
1.5 for sure.
Yeah.
I love Jessmon with all my heart.
Just
But
OTK too strong.
yeah.
Put it
Yeah.
above Source Strip probably.
I don't.
No, if you hit a Tommy in security, I remember Alex. I remember how I lost that game.
Tommy's a motherfucker.
Don't let the people know these things.
We'll get to Tommy. Dark Knight. I'm pretty
Don't
sure
let the
keep
people
that
know
low.
these things. My
You don't like
glory
how y'all gave
days.
y'all sauce about marching fishes?
What do you mean? I came up with marching fishes.
Yeah, but you stole all the people just now.
Yeah, man. How y'all feel about Dark Knight?
Keep it at locals.
Is it better
I
than
think
Exxon?
I think it's playable.
I
Personally,
think it's playable.
Sam?
Especially with the new promo.
it gets a new promo that really gives it its oomph. Tamer deletion's always going to be relevant. Digivolve's always going to be relevant, and it's a cross deck. Like anything with Digicross is always going to be somewhat playable, just because you could have damage out of nowhere.
They
A
did
body-
shaft it though by not giving anything rush.
I mean, it doesn't really need it all the time as long as they keep giving the deck more support to give it a solid foundation.
Well, they need a better Nene.
I mean,
Why
they
can you
got
only pick up one thing
Kyria
per
Nene.
Well, you can pick up Nene and Kyria as well.
Kyria
Man,
Nene
you
is
guys
a...
could also use marching fishes. Ho.
That's true.
Stop.
Yeah, just run Ice Wall. You'll
Just
win.
run
Yeah,
ice.
run ice.
Ice
Poetry,
Wall,
they
Marching
know.
Fishes.
Not
The
to mention,
Kaitis breath.
I will
Oh my god,
say-
Kaiser Mill? Why don't y'all run the Kaiser Mill?
Crazy.
I will say this about Dark Knight, similar to Digimon actually. Like, Spider-Man mentioned this a while ago, but like Ace cards just existing, black options get way more relevant because a lot of them, I think you said like a lot of them delete off of play cost, and
Yeah.
not to mention Digivolving exists. So like DTD bomb for earlier, for instance, is probably going to cost 1 on average, really.
Yeah.
And in Dark Knight, I think I forget which things Digivolve, but
Level
that's
fives.
already gonna the level 5s. Okay, yeah. So you're basically gonna be saving memory back that way if they already have an ace card out. So I mean, I don't know. I feel like just with Blast Evolution existing, Black kind of gets a little stronger in general. So yeah, Dark Knight's definitely playable.
That's a fair point. I didn't even think about the fact that you could digivolve the aces and run them over, and
Yeah.
Black has like the best options in the game.
Yeah, that's true. That's Black's gimmick.
Yeah.
Option
And then
cards.
you also got like Trident Arm too.
That's true.
So now.
That's true. Oh yeah, but is it beating SetCon? That's the thing.
No.
So it's fine where
No.
it is.
On average, no, but
It's straight where it is.
it's cool where it's at.
All right. Let's get.
Honestly, I feel like placement in the thing is doing a little too much.
Fair enough.
But
How about Ult Force?
Competitive?
It's
Competitive.
definitely competitive, yeah. The training cards for helping you find your arenas is pretty good.
I think. It's
I mean,
high
the
competitive.
blue source.
I say that it goes in highly competitive, but
Oh.
that's also my personal bias. So
Did you get your Ultra Arenas?
I did actually.
Oh, clap.
I did finally pull the trigger and grab all my alt arenas. So my deck is max rarity until I need those Gomamon.
So like top of competitive is probably like the best competitive deck you can play, right?
Pretty much it. You just come on, start bouncing shit.
Yeah.
My question is, do you think that Old Force is going to get the player representation?
Absolutely not.
No.
It's absolutely not. Rena's expensive, and that alone is
And the regional didn't help.
is halting representation. But on top of that, it's a low skill floor, high skill ceiling deck. But like, even as an All Force player, I'm still learning stuff, learning different ways to play around things. Like, when Spider-Man told me about keeping the All Force tapped going into Blue Flare's turn, yeah,
Oh yeah.
that changed the way I played against Blue Flare, and then I have not lost against Blue Flare since then.
Wait,
But
why does
Never
that
had to
change
hard
it?
rely on Decker Gray so much against
Because
all
when you
four.
unsuspend during your turn, you still get the bounce wherever they leave on their board. They lose their Digimon, and they get the Digimon back, but lose their sources.
so because what I used to do is I used to keep it, unsuspended because that you want to keep it unsuspended just in case you need to block or evade. But it would always get stunned, and then it would stay stunned forever, and you would never be able to use that all four stack again. But if you leave it tapped going into their turn, when the turn passes, at the start of your turn, you unsuspend, bounce their stack. And sure, you can't swing with it, but you've already gotten your bounce for the turn, and you could go ahead and go on with your turn. And
Plus,
they've
you get your
lost
arena
all of their
memory.
sources. Yep.
I can see that.
Okay, that's fair.
So that changed the way I play. I took it definitely helped me when I played in that Ultimate Cup because I played against 2 Blue Flare players and I 2-0'd both of them.
Damn. Speaking of Blue Flare, man, we got Blue Flare right here.
Oh.
What do you guys? Cope?
Go in order.
Yeah, keep going in order.
I have Blackwood Greymon, and what is this Blackwood?
Competitive.
Tier 1, highly competitive. Blackwood Greymon Tier 1.
Greymon? Really?
Don't we say this every format?
That's what
I'm
saying.
pretty sure this one's just competitive. Wait,
Black War Greymon is never going anywhere.
I feel like it's just
It's
competitive
never
right
going
now.
anywhere. It's always going to be relevant.
But does it have the representation from BT-13 to B Tier 1? Because it kind of did. I don't think
It
it really
fell off for a little
performed.
bit.
It didn't have the representation, but it still took a bunch of tops in BT-13.
To be fair, a lot of people also can't play the deck well.
Well, I mean, a lot of people just defaulted to Shine Greymon for most.
Yeah, exactly. So we can't really just say that based on
Greymon players.
representation, it should fall in tier. I feel like in terms of power level, some of the stuff that they gained in 14 keeps it in highly competitive.
I say if we don't see them top like at all, do BT-14, we gotta stop putting them in highly competitive. Excuse me. Because
I mean, we haven't been wrong though.
Yeah,
we haven't been. We've
When was
done
the last
what,
time they
2
won at
tier lists?
regionals?
BT-11.
Last time it won,
Yeah, a
probably
regional.
BT-11. No, BT-12.
Yeah, I can see BT-12.
Actually, I'm pretty sure it won. Keep going, and I'll double check that.
All right, what about
I will
Bills,
say, highly. Oh, good.
Competitive?
Clay, you take it.
Beelzemon with the training cards, I would actually say that it's in competitive.
Okay.
The training cards, some people say that you like hit the consistency of it, which is not true. Like, yeah, you can mellow that, but like being able to use
Pick
a
up your whole
training,
deck.
yeah, basically being able to use a training card, go into like a free Wizardmon or go into a Almon for a cost of
Unnecessary.
1. Yes, it is. For a cost of 1 is really strong because then that just allows for Beelzemon to have more play extensions. Plus, playing the training cards in general means that you can find the next thing in your line a
Gunslinger,
little easier.
Rivals,
You can
Imako, everything.
Mako, yeah. So it's literally all we get is the training card, but that's enough. I mean, for the decks to still be very competitive. So I think right there in competitive is fine.
Nice.
On top of that, the training cards lets you stack your deck.
Yep.
It lets you stack. It lets you pick. You can not only pick up your one-of copy of Impmon so that you can stack it using Eye and Mako, but you also get to stack the bottom of your deck. So if your memory's good enough, you can remember exactly what that looks like.
Or you get 2 cards, so you can literally just pick and choose what you get and scry.
Mm-hmm.
So how about Mr. Idrisil here?
Competitive.
They think it's beating over Do we care about
They don't really need.
It takes a stray bullet in the format because everybody's going to start running the floodgates that stop things from
Special summoning
being played by effects. I was refraining from using special summoning because I do not like that game. But yes, it takes a stray because people are going to be playing that to counter Lugamon, and so just by default, they kind of take a hit that way.
All right, what about Lightperdmon?
I think.
Play
Isn't that the same hit though?
Yes, but it wasn't as good as Royal Knights by far. Because you usually have to when I ran it, I ran the Angoramon line for the 3s and 4s and 5s, and it worked okay. It really lacks from having no way.
How about EX5
no
waiting
protections.
room?
Yeah, it needs that X antibody. I think.
It needs that X antibody.
Yeah.
All right, now this is an interesting one. Milliflute.
For the trainings?
No. Milliflute, I would probably keep it as local.
I think it's competitive personally.
I think it's playable.
Here's why. Well, I would say, okay, you know what? I'll give it playable, but I couldn't put it in competitive. The issue with the Milliflute deck is that you're not doing anything.
Yeah,
You're literally playing solitaire with yourself. You're not attacking your opponent. And while sometimes you can draw cards to pop off, maybe you have the training cards to help filter and stuff, that's fine. Every other deck gets the training cards too. And again, you're sitting there doing nothing but trying to digivolve, keep turn, and wait till you get to your in-game scenario where you can do the play where you blow up a bunch of your memory cards and then you kind of just pop off and mill them out because they're going to be digivolving going through their deck, and you're pretty much trying to do keep away most of the time. And while that sounds interesting and cool, whatever it is, I know somebody did well with it. The game's evolved, the game has changed, and everything that we're thinking about in tier 1.5, even a lot of decks that are in tier 2, especially the higher competitive decks, you do nothing and they're going to run through you. So that's why I said it's playable. If your opponent breaks, if your opponent's not doing, not really doing too much, all right, sure, but not doing anything.
I think it's playable and it beats Satcon.
Sure. It's a playable deck, but you're not doing anything.
Is Yellow Hybrid doing anything?
yeah.
What do you
That
think?
deck
It's
will
either
never really
playable or
die.
competitive.
Yeah, I was gonna say for yellow hybrid, do you basically just use the yellow vaccine support alongside it to make it
Yeah,
stronger with all
yeah,
the
of course.
tamers and all that? Yeah.
Just
So I
slide it
would,
right behind Lilithmon and you're good. Right there and playable.
Yeah, it's better with that stuff.
It'll
It's
beat
not as
Satcon
good as
because it
Metro.
technically has more Digimon.
yeah.
Hey, save the waffle. Subscribe with the Prime
Let's go.
Mirage #1. I guess we're legally obligated to talk about Mirage now since they subscribed. Let's talk about Mirage.
Hey,
I'm
that's
just going
fair.
to How we feel about
All right.
Mirage?
It's competitive. The
See,
training cards really help it.
Mirage is interesting
I
because
still think it's highly competitive, honestly.
it gained Bukamon but lost its level 5, the good one. But since it has Bukamon now, I guess it's negated since they have jamming.
Like the level 5 that they lost was the
EX4
main
one.
level
one that's
5 because
yeah
not only
yeah
did it bounce like floodgates on Digivolve, but it also was the only one that didn't interfere with the sequence of attacking versus unsuspending. But now with Bukamon, they can attack with the level 5 and then get their unsuspend plays off. So they didn't really lose much.
yeah pretty much.
In fact, they gained the training cards, so they gained consistency. So yeah, I personally think that is still highly competitive.
I would agree with
Better
that.
than better than Old Force.
Oh,
I think they're about the same.
Honestly, they do pretty much the same thing. If anything, I would give it a little more to Mirage, just
Because it
because
requires less pieces.
it requires less pieces, and the the better level 6 just bounces the security. So that's one security that you don't have to worry about checking.
Yeah.
And it's always an option. It's always an option. I know from experience.
How y'all feel about Imperial? Blue.
Imperial's interesting because we're about to have a different format than Japan with Imperial because we get the new Dragon Ball Ace card.
That is at least Imperial's at least playable now.
I think it's not competitive. It's
not
by
competitive.
no means is it competitive.
But
I
that
would say
Ace
that it's
was really
playable.
good.
Playable.
It's playable, I would say.
mm-hmm.
I
Above
think
Dark Knight.
it's right in front of Dark Knight because I don't see it beating D Brigade with all their blockers. I don't think they can get rid of Brigade Dramon that easily.
Fair
It's
enough.
got the Pyodramon.
Thanks, Tilted Sheep, for the subscription with
The
Prime. With the very powerful. That's
Two
how you
words.
Say that with a straight face.
What about Gamamon? I actually think Gamamon is at the top of playable. It's a solid deck.
Yeah,
I would put it in playable. Don't listen to the hater.
It has a lot of recursion that a lot of these decks can't really deal with regarding retaliation, and then because it really depends on the build. each Gamma player is likely to have a different build towards what they're trying to go. Some can go for like Blitz Omni OTK. Some can go for Proxima Mon. It's all really a coin flip.
It's hard
There's
to
always
fight
the
against it 'cause
classic
you never know which
retaliation
way.
raid blitz.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to fight against it because you never really know which way they're gonna go until it already happened. You know what I mean? So I say playable. Mastermon, I think you keep it at local still, but that's just
Nah, no.
That's at least playable.
Can't you forget they Mastermon's a yellow vaccine?
that is
Is
also
it?
true. But I'm just so used to Mastermon.
The entire Gotham Online is a vaccine.
Jesus.
I didn't know Mastermind counted in that.
So my
fucking
first
live
time
vaccine?
playing Mastamon with the upgrades from BT-14, I went into a turn 2 Mastamon
That's
and
stupid.
gained memory, and then I ended my turn with Mastamon and another level 6
Jesus Christ. So we're thinking highly
on turn
competitive
2.
then, or just competitive?
I
I think it's
below
at the top.
chest,
I think
probably.
it's a playable deck that needs more testing and experience.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
fair.
playable's a good home for it. Put it towards the top of playable because I think it could be competitive, but I'm also not the best Mastermind player, so it's going to take somebody with more capable hands than me.
Fair enough.
Don't need Ying to come back.
We'll just wait till George to come back to play.
No,
it.
we just need Mike to do it.
Oh, true. Saki
Mike
security
could
always
do it if
wins.
he put his mind to it. But what
If
he
he
can't
actually
do
shows him
is
to
figure out how
locals.
to pilot Belfamon Rage mode. So how's Belfamon Rage mode faring in the meta right now?
Belfamon,
Keep it at locals.
keep it at locals.
Damn,
Damn,
really?
That
Belfamont's that.
It got
Wait,
shot
Belfamont?
that much?
No, Belfamont. Wait, it did
Pretty
lose
solid.
Eismon.
it
And the
lost
Gabumon.
Eismon and it lost both Gabumons. That really hurt. If
Did it use the
anything,
Gabumon? Did it use
Well,
the Gabumon?
we don't use the Gabumon, but the loss of Eismon, it really hurt because if you don't find rage mode plus sleep mode in your hand by a certain time, you kind of just lose the game and you're just filtering for nothing. You're doing nothing because sometimes getting out the Belfamon and stuff, you can get it out way too late. Especially if you can't even go up the chain. Sometimes you go up the chain, but the speed. But Eismon drew 3 and Trash 2. The only other substitute that would be good for him is like Dark Reasonmon on deletion, draw 1, trash 1. But that's kind of like Beelzemon when Ipmon got shot, except that, Belfamon is a little bit of a slower deck. And people say, oh, you can play Dobermon. Well, Dobermon mills
Had,
3.
and you have to
And
die.
right, you have to die. And the milling 3 doesn't really do much for you anyways. Playing analog youth, you only get half of its ability in the deck anyways, because you're not unless you're doing Osamon, you're not really doing much. And if your stack dies, then you're dead anyway. So the deck lost so much speed from Eismon getting hit, and it's hard to be replaceable. And I think the game is also getting faster. I would just say keep it at locals until further notice.
Wow.
So, quick question for you, Clay: is Belfamon gonna be like a purple deck that goes in the EX5 waiting room because it uses the new Garurumon stuff in lieu of Ice,
No,
or can it not fit it in?
nah, not really. It's a deck that really plays better within its own archetype. So utilizing the Osamon, utilizing the Tamer, and like the whole Gizamon line, because when you're using the Metal Garurumon, the Metal Melga line and stuff like that, you're taking away the Gizamon stuff, which is the kind of the recursion you need so that you could restand on your turn, because Belfamon is not a memory efficient deck. It's just not a memory efficient deck at all. So you need that free kind of field recursion you get from the Gizamon so that you could easily access a Belfamon restand, keep board presence on, have a decent 9K block or whatever the case is. But you add the Melga engine, and sure, you're drawing, discarding and stuff, but like you go into your turn and you got Belfamon, but you're memory choked. Unless you raise something out of the raising area or you play a Proto Gizamon for 1, you're not really doing too much. It hurts your kill turns.
Do you think Ukomon helps the deck at all?
No.
No.
Again, that's not meant.
You're not raising enough out of
Yeah.
you're not coming out of raising enough for
Yeah.
Ugamon to matter. You're usually hard playing the mech lords.
The Mech Lord.
Yeah.
How about
But that's okay. We got other purple decks.
how about Rave Money? I think Rave's doing anything.
Let me
No.
Keep
take
it
it
at
from
locals.
here.
All right.
Let me take it from here. I got some interesting takes.
Oh yeah, go for it.
So obviously, I agree with
If
them.
if
Keep it
it's
up.
above, keep it at locals. It's
No,
wrong.
no, 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 no.
I
It's
want to
in
hear. I
keep
want to
it
hear what
in
you gotta say
locals,
though.
but it's in keep it at locals, but it's in front of Eximon. I think it's actually the gatekeeper for keep it at locals because none of the decks in keep it at locals can touch Ravemon because he's never on board unless they're running a specific floodgate. And with the
That's
training
very fair.
cards, the deck just got faster, which it actually just needed. It was the only burst deck that had no speed.
Mhm.
That's
So he
fair.
gatekeeps at locals.
Yeah,
So if you
I
go
can
to,
definitely fuck up Roll Knights and Jess with Ravemon.
jeez. So you heard that, guys. If you want to win at your locals for once in your life, play Ravemon. All right, Rosemont Burst Mode. How y'all feeling about Rosemont? BT-14.
Well,
Playable.
that's your territory,
I was
bro.
about to say, how do you feel, honestly?
How I feel, man, that is a perfectly playable deck. Just
Is
play
the
blue.
Rosemont Birth Mode representative of like the Rosemont line that comes out in BT-14, or
You mean
like
BT-15?
like a Rosemont specific deck, not a, you know what I mean?
I
Well, they
think,
get the Palmon now, but they get the X Anybody line BT-15, I think.
yeah, it'll be
Yeah,
Yeah.
better in
but here's the thing. I love Rosemon. Rosemon is one of my favorite Digimon. But Bloom just does everything Rosemon wants to do, but better.
yeah, honestly.
That's true.
It's
And
a more
Rosemon's
it's
just
a
too
more
slow.
proactive Rosemon.
Mm-hmm.
Rosemon's really reactive and dependent on what the opponent does versus Bloom Lord. That's
Hmm.
just like, well, I'm just gonna spawn these bodies and have my way with
Yeah,
you if you're not
basically.
gonna do nothing.
And the piggyback off of what
So
Spider-Man just said, it can't touch Rave because it's not on board. So you can't
I'll probably
suspend
put it in
anything that's not
playable.
there.
I
No,
put it at
so
playable just because vegetation's just a really strong archetype in and of itself.
I would put it
But
like
yeah,
I would put it like right below like Satcon. Well,
that's cool.
yeah,
I don't
but
really care where you put it in playable as long as we know where it is.
it's like playable.
As long as we know where it belongs.
I can talk about I can talk about Rosemont all day. How about Shine? Let's talk about Shine.
Oh, here we go.
Competitive in this point,
Highly
though.
fucking competitive.
Really?
How much
Even
did
with
it
the
get
Geo?
slowed down?
If you thought that Shine was going anywhere, you're out of your mind.
Well,
So
how
really?
much did the restriction hurt it?
Not
Kind of a
at
lot.
all. Not at all. What are you talking about?
I don't play this deck.
Most decks played that Geo Gray at like 2, maybe 3.
What?
I thought it was a
I
full.
played that Geo Gray at like 4. That shit is so good. You just promote, Digivolve into it, play a Marcus. That's your turn. That's pretty much how you set it up.
But the training cards, you could run 6 to 7 training cards because everything is red and yellow.
I mean, that's true. I mean, it's not that you can't run that many trainings. It wasn't really searching your deck that was the issue with Shine.
It's not,
You,
but you now have cheaper Digivolutions on
yeah,
top of the free Digivolutions. The training cards tutor out your Marcuses, so you don't have to worry about playing a boost and bot decking your Marcuses anymore.
yeah, but the problem was the reason why the hit was so bad was because Shine from BT-12 struggled to get Marcus into play, and the Rise Greymon helps, but when you can't get to your level 5 fast enough, the Geo Gray was supposed to help facilitate that. It was kind of used to extend your plays because when you recover Geo Gray, I mean Marcus into your security, you can go into that Geo Gray to replay him out.
I still think that
while that may be true,
it's
it,
still
it,
highly
it,
competitive. I
Sky
don't
Gray
think that hit was strong enough to actually shake the deck.
even in the EX5 BT-15 meta, Shine Greymon is still one of the strongest decks in the game, even with the hits and stuff that have happened recently. It's just obviously purple's different, but for BT-14, Shine is just Shine's gonna be still really strong.
And like now you can, they actually can use the Koromon egg, from BT-14, which
It's
draws
still
you a
good.
card. That draws you a card when when a security is removed. That means your Marcus could swing into security. You could draw a card. Your Shine doesn't have to swing. Your stack doesn't have to swing. You could leave that stack completely in place for the rest of the game as long as your opponent doesn't do anything and not have to try to trade into security to get that extra cycle.
You think people will be scared to play Sean with the hit?
Nah.
No.
I mean, for the first couple of weeks, but the good players that like Shine enough will play it and prove to them that Shine is still a relevant deck, and then
You
everybody's
hear
gonna
that,
hop
Jerry?
back
You're
on
up. I need a deck list by tonight.
I'm surprised you guys aren't talking about the Agumon too, because Agumon can't you digivolve into like a Greymon for free?
It's a Greymon, not a Geo
Oh,
Greymon.
okay. I didn't know. All right, my bad.
You have to
Still
have a
pretty
tight
good.
community to do it too.
Yeah.
And you gotta
And
be black.
and if you want to be spicy, all of the Geo Greys are yellow vaccines, so you can play the Patamon.
That's
But
true.
then you have to run the yellow Koromon, right?
Yeah, you have to.
Or you
Yeah.
could run the Tokomon. You can run you could run either of the Tokomons. There's one that gives jamming to something when you recover.
You mean Yaromon?
Is it Kiaramon that does that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gyaro, I think.
It's
Yeah.
when you
Yeah.
take something from Gary.
Yeah, you could do that, or you could play the Tokomon that came in the
14.
set that
14.
draws you a card when you recover one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Spider-Man in terms of its placement in highly competitive, but I definitely don't think the Geo Gray hit was hard enough to put it out of highly competitive.
Look,
I think it's still
time will tell. This is going to be a very interesting format.
That's
Oh,
why
yeah.
this is a prediction list, but
Yeah.
I'm excited for this format. This is the most excited I've been for Digimon in like the past like 2 formats. Not gonna lie.
How y'all
Really?
feel
I
about
Probably
really like
3.
BT-13.
Huh?
How y'all feel
I
about
really like BT-13
I hated 13.
because of how long it was.
It was long and I played Mirage.
Oh, fair.
Fair enough, man. So
All
Jerome.
right, but we know what you're gonna play now, right, Tommy Himmy? Where are we at with blue hybrids?
It's playable. I
Not
want to say
competitive.
it's highly. I want to say it's competitive, but until I get some further testing, I have to put it at playable just because the competitive decks are just too fast for it.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
definitely
Like
agree.
you're banking on a tamer being in security, and there's not going to be enough games where there's tamers in security.
Yeah, the shit is
Because
just too
when you really
slow.
think about it, if you're facing a blue deck and you source strip them at level 4 and you try to swing, they'll just see the ace and bounce you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
True.
No, don't get me wrong. You can absolutely safely go into your hybrids and leave them on the board. Like you could pass turn digivolving into a Kori Kakumon and stunning something, and then Zudo Ace whatever else is coming out at you. But the deck still just seems really slow. You
Yeah.
have to take time to see. There's no way to free play your tamers. You have to hard play your tamers or hit them out of security, and that's just banking on not only RNG but your opponent swinging into security.
All right.
I think it's a little bit better than Dark Knight. I'm gonna put it like a little bit before Dark Knight.
Oh, it's way more playable than that. I think it's like honestly probably near the top of
I would
near
probably put
mid.
like top 5.
Top
Yeah,
5.
top 5.
Definitely beats
Yes,
Setcon.
it
Definitely
definitely
beats
beats
Oh,
over
100%.
Setcon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't give a damn about
There
Setcon.
you go. I put it
probably
above.
Megamon too if you really think about it. Cause you just stripped that cannon wise mind and he fucked.
Okay, we'll do it like this. Yeah, like that.
But speaking of source stripping, can we talk about how the Gomamon line is absolutely insane for source strip?
Oh,
Yeah.
most definitely.
Oh, 100%.
That's the whole reason why it's in 1.5.
Collective source strip is absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
You mean
Yeah, I'll
I
just
could
go.
source strip the overflow? I could source strip your protections. I could source strip whatever I want. That's so broken, dude.
It's so fucking
It
good.
really
And they
is.
still stun
And they
too.
still
On
And
top
they
of that.
still stun.
And for
Yes,
some
sir.
reason,
I
the Gomamon
can't wait.
when it raises, it says you can source strip something and it can't be blocked for some reason.
Yeah, with a
Yeah.
Bukamon egg that also gives you jamming.
It's,
If you
Because
have
you'll
equal
more
or
than
less.
likely have exactly,
Yeah,
you'll
it's
more
so
than likely
weird.
have equal or less sources once you digivolve.
so good. How y'all feel about a War Greymon just like I guess the black variant or whatever.
Top of the format.
Highly competitive.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep,
Better than Shine?
agreed.
Yes.
Better than Shine.
To be determined.
I mean, they got a lot of tools from the starter deck, and I think at this point you could kind of just build War Greymon and Black War Greymon to kind of counter the meta. They have that much flexibility, so they can easily build an anti-Shine build, anti-Lugumon build, depending upon like what's really prominent.
Also, Dragon of Courage is an insane card. Dragon of Courage should not exist, bro. There is no way that should exist.
That can only be the
Dragon of Courage is so good.
That could be the one and only Red Joe right there that just logged in. What's up, man?
I wish.
I mean,
Jared.
there's TJ.
Oh, it's Jared. Oh, shit.
Oh, TJ joined.
TJ.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I'll
TJ.
leave.
How about Alphamon? I think Alphamon's the best playable deck.
I could agree with you there.
They got training, memory boost, cool boy, UG. It has so much fuck. It has too much search now.
It has so much search and it'll still blit.
Don't say that, Jared. I need that code.
Alphamon's a really solid deck. I would honestly put it in competitive. The trainings just do so much for it.
No, you think it's better than just OTK?
I would argue that it's more consistent than just OTK.
This is my
no
thing.
system wants to weigh you down.
With Alphamon, it's like that's all you do is search. It doesn't really have that much flexibility.
Like it's lacking the kill potential since the Dorugray hit.
Yeah,
it's just a BT9 deck, really. It's just one of the old man BT9 decks that's still left around.
That's why I say it's like
it's just waiting for that extra oomph it needs. It literally just needs something that gives it sec outside of
like it's
Super Gun Punch
or like Son of Rizumon.
Yeah.
All right, I'll put it at top of playable, bottom of competitive.
I'll put it bottom of competitive. It's interchangeable with Jesmon. It's way more consistent than Jesmon, but it lacks the OTK that Jesmon has. It can't just end the game on the spot. It's going to take some time.
How about a Gallon?
I'm not touching that one.
Finally, my time has come. Bottom unplayable.
Damn.
Just bottom unplayable. Better than Dark Knight. Actually, put it in front of Imperial because we're technically faster than them.
Did you see that purple base list that I sent you though?
Mm-hmm.
I need you to try that. I need you to.
All right, link me again. I'm kind of stupid and I forget things easily.
All right.
Actually, hold on. Let me actually think about Gallimon against Amphimon. They can stop me from. Siki, you have protection against deletion.
Yeah. The Amphimon from RB1 gets protected from being deleted.
All right, I can raid into you and delete you at the same time, so I can cope with that. Put it
Brigade, right? Too.
Put it right in front of
Put it
Satcom.
like right next to Tommy actually, because you eat Millith Loop. You eat Millith Loop. Ain't no way you're losing to Millith Loop.
I do lose to a single Tommy though. That shit will hurt me. That little boy needs to die.
Yeah, I think Galamon's pretty decent.
Does not need to die. That's Tommy me.
What about Blue Flare?
You can go to it, right?
Blue Flare, I think, is competitive.
Oh yeah, it's it's probably
right next to Ulfers.
Right next to Ulfers in front of Royal Knights.
Isn't everything going wide this format?
It's not even that. They just got jamming 2 checks. I just can't believe they allow that to happen.
Yeah, that's fair.
No, wait till BT-14. That shit's going in highly competitive. I promise you that.
Ultimate Connection, whatever that card is.
Yeah, Ultimate Connection is crazy.
Yeah, I feel like I've been thinking about like where Blue Flare's placement would be, and yeah, I agree with competitive for now until BT-15, where it goes right back to highly competitive because of that option. Right now, and all throughout EX5, it is 100%.
When you really think about it,
I just read Supreme Connection.
Yeah. When you really think about it, Blue Flare's kind of the best deck as a concept. It's a blue deck that happens to be Greymon, so it gets slowed by Bandai twice.
That's true.
Yeah.
Bandai privileged.
I honestly think in the competitive tier, it's the best deck.
Nah, dude,
That's
nah.
just me.
I would argue that honestly, like after really thinking about it, I think All Force is the best competitive deck. Like bias aside, All Force just has a lot of weapons that are underutilized, and there's so many different ways to build it. But I think
Mirage is
with
just faster.
no, I think All Force actually could beat
Ooh.
Mirage. With the Jerry package, the Jerry Leomon package, not
Mm.
only do you get a body and a tamer out, but that's a level 4 that you could Zudo Ace on once you're done
What?
with the Leomon.
That's fair.
And they have to have the one of EX4 Mach to bounce the Leomon.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
And like I said, All Force is a low skill floor, so like anybody could pick up and play All Force because the concept is simple. But there's a lot of intricate plays that All Force has that people are still learning to this day. So I think All Force is literally peaking into highly competitive, but just because it's so piece reliant, it's just not there yet.
There's only one person that's won with O Force so far, so
That's not true. There's one person that won in BT-13 and one person that won in BT-12 and one in EX5 or EX4. So
a major tournament, really?
yeah, yeah.
One by one.
I was just looking through the results. There's been an All Force win in every format so far.
Then I'm actually willing to put it in highly competitive with that knowledge there, because
Like, is it the gatekeeper of highly competitive, basically?
yeah, I think so. I'm just put it there.
O Force been
And
solid
like,
since day one.
not only that, we got the Bukamon egg, which means everybody get your starter deck Vmons because you can swing the
Swing
Vmon,
jam.
you could swing jamming, and then Digivolve straight into a All Force for 4 and unsuspend.
Wait, what? But when they have to have a level 6 out with one sword, so literally against Royal Knights.
Isn't the Bukamon if they have something with
Equal or less
Equal or less.
sources.
is it
And
if
since you're
they
swing,
is
It
it
has
if
to
they
be
have
less.
something
It has to be less
or
sources. If it's equal, you lose the jamming.
you mean like have one Digimon up? It has to have no Digimon with equal or less or equal or
okay,
more
no
sources.
Digimon. Okay, that's a little more difficult than I thought. But it's
I
still
mean,
a play.
yeah.
It's still can be done.
How about Machine Dramon? I'm curious because I think Machine Dramon is like below Satcon, honestly.
I would put it above Setcon. I would put it above Mill.
Yeah,
I
You
think
don't
it's like
say it's
right below
competitive?
Gallantmon. Huh?
You don't want to say it's competitive?
nah, it's
I love
too.
Machine Dramon.
Go ahead.
I feel like I've said I love a lot of decks so far. Don't listen to me. Um, Machine Dramon is still a solid deck, but there's before you could cater to whatever meta it was with your protections. Like you could go, oh, this is a DP minus heavy format, so I'm gonna put in DP minus protections. Oh, this is a bounce heavy format. Let me put in bounce protections. Now the format's just a giant cesspool of removal. You can't cope with all of it. Your protections only go so far, so now you're going to be running every type of protection, which means you can't run more than one copy of the protections that you want. Like last format, you run 2 to 3 copies of the sec minus protection because Shine was the king of the format. Before that, you would run bounce protection because All Force was bouncing Machine Dramon left and right. So now you gotta kind of you're cutting into your protections in order to cater to everything, and it's just stretching the deck too thin.
Also, are they viruses or are they just data?
I think they're
They're
viruses.
viruses, so they get tucked by
Yeah, that
fucking
also matters.
Angemon.
Yup.
So, and if playing against Masty and Chaos the Great taught me anything, that no matter how much protection you got, you can't stop getting degraded, bro. You can't stop.
That's true. There's no protection from getting tucked somewhere.
It's true.
So
Dude, that's another reason why Blue Flare's in competitive. 'Cause I was going through my list. I was like, wait, virus, virus, virus. Oh no.
like Machine Dramon is really good against single stack decks, but it just loses to anything that has like out to it. Like it hard loses to like hunters. It hard loses to like I said, nasty. Like, even maybe it just loses to a lot.
He's gonna do some mobile heavy shit,
Yeah,
but
he's gonna be
not
heavy.
enough.
Just not enough. I swear, but if you flip over a fucking Doru egg and you go into like an Agumon, that's like a Greymon player's worst nightmare is Machine Dramon. They hate him. How's everybody feeling about Crossheart? Highly competitive, right?
I wish. It's either at the top of playable or right under Tommy.
Oh.
It gets nothing from the training cards.
It gets nothing from the training cards. All the decks get faster,
and its source is
Tommy's out of jail.
Yeah.
Tommy is out of jail.
It's either at the top of playable or right under Tommy because it dices up everything under Tommy.
I'm so sorry.
And it can dice up everything. It is literally this one kid.
We got
this one kid is a problem.
I'm gonna put it at the top of playable just because.
See, the Tommy that you needed on the tier list needed to be the one with the glasses and the chain.
Because Crossheart is also you have to know what you're playing against because you have to know when to go.
You need to know what you're playing against and you need to see your pieces, and that's just not a good equation.
Yeah, it's fairly easy to see the pieces, but a lot of people don't know what to play
Not
against.
to mention the best new card I got. It doesn't even have Crossheart.
Yeah, what? I was so pissed. That looked like such a great Ballistamon because it technically they did Cross 2 before they became Crossheart on the show. But that's some semantics bullshit. Slap Crossheart on that card.
I don't know if they could put the new BT-14 fucking Magna X has a rule that says this card counts as free. They could have gave him Crossheart, bro.
But they'd have to errata it at this point.
Nah. It's fine as not being Crossheart.
Some bullshit.
I mean, you can draw into it and you're fine.
You can only draw into it. That's it.
No,
you gotta draw into it or
technically,
start with it.
You can run the BT5 Shopmon that picks up other cards with Shopmon in its name.
Yeah, but that's a waste of time.
Okay.
That's crazy.
I still think you would run the card, so. But you know,
I mean, I'm running it like
it would have been infinitely better if it was Crossheart. You're absolutely right.
If it was Crossheart, play it off of Zenjiro, turn 1.
That's why they didn't do that.
Fucking go fucking ham on their asses.
That play right there. That play right there is
well, you don't like a two-card rush?
Absolutely
why. Come on, just rush and swing. Suspend something. Pierce through that bitch too.
Nah,
all right, Dorian's done. Take the mic away from him. Take the mic away from him.
Let's talk about the hunters.
Hunters, I think Hunters is competitive. I still think it has one of the best forms of removal in the game. You play a tamer and you're getting an uncounterable remove. I think it's
playable personally because again, my boy's out of jail, bruh.
The balancing force who did nothing wrong.
The great equalizer.
Yes,
I can't stand this kid.
Great equalizer.
You know what? Maybe the Greymon decks deserve to be in
they need to
tier
put him
1.
back and make a wish. Just saying, man.
Lock him back up, please.
The only reason why
Tommy is just the avatar. When the world needed him most, he vanished. But 100 years later, he's back. He's out for blood.
Dude, did the world really need him this time, though?
No.
Remember, Jarrett,
what deck are you playing Tommy in?
Blue hybrid.
Yes.
Blue Flare.
Literally
Blue
every blue deck. Literally every blue deck.
Old Force.
All Force is going to be
hybrid.
The thing is, Tommy, you don't even really need the hybrid stuff. You just play him as like, okay, I need to strip some sources really quick. It's like
he's a security bomb,
bro.
Like, yeah, so you throw Tommy in your deck, you slap in 2 Lanamons, you're chilling.
I mean,
you don't even need Lanamon at that point. You swap the Lanamons out for fucking Korikakumon, and now that Tommy's free.
Oh, yeah, or Korikaku, you're right.
The reason why I wasn't too for hunters, I wasn't too whatever about Tommy is because you can, you literally can, if your stuff gets stunned, maybe if it does, you can still digicross it off the field or out of
It's not
wherever.
about the stun; it's about the strip.
The
Yeah.
strip is too strong.
So is it the strip out of when it comes out of security? Because then that's just throwing a
It's
random.
just a strip, man.
The
If they
strip in
use
Just
general.
the
it,
strip in general, bro.
it's like out of security. You're just like, well, fuck. At least I gotta just go gas this turn before I get stunned. But
Yeah.
like when they use
Like,
it
don't
on you,
get me
like
wrong, Tommy doesn't stop hunters, but it nerfs hunters.
And crossfire.
Oh, it absolutely dunks
addicts you.
crossheart.
It
It
addicts you so hard.
dunks crossheart.
Fucking
It
the great
it
equalizer.
doesn't do as much to hunters, but if you put a Dramon superior mode out with all those sources, or even just you run something into security and you get your sources stripped, that really hurts.
True.
Okay.
Yes, that would hurt, but that's one matchup, one for one blue. How does it do into every other matchup, including the ones in highly competitive?
Okay,
That.
Clay, I have a question for you.
What is your question?
When was the last time you played a deck that relied on its inheritables?
That relied on its inheritables? Belfamon,
Okay, other than Belfamon.
Beelzemon.
Belfamon doesn't rely on its inheritables.
Nah,
It
it
just
really
needs the
doesn't.
one.
It just needs rage
Asta.
mode.
Yeah. Oh, rage mode. My
Not
bad.
true.
Not true. When you have your games are so much easier when you actually have an Ostamon underneath.
Can't you spawn a
It's
blocker
And then
with
he
the
also
Asta?
plays Beelzemon to answer your question.
yeah,
So,
Beelzemon.
so
You
then
need
if
to.
you so then we shouldn't be having to have this conversation where we're explaining the problem with this kid.
So
I mean, by the time you
I'm
hit
not
Tommy
focusing
in
on the kid.
security,
I'm focusing on how does it do. Like if you're scared of one deck in the format, then you might as well just not play. I'm just
well,
talking
no,
about
we're
does it do
scared of
well in
one
every other
card in
deck?
the format.
One card is fucking us up left and right.
I think you guys are giving Tommy too much credit. He's
Bro,
a
he's taking
balancing
my stuff and
factor.
putting
But
it
you're
somewhere
also a
else.
biased source of
Except
opinion.
except Dorian. Dorian, you can rightfully hate Tommy. he,
I have a right.
he literally took your top 27 deck and just threw that shit in the trash.
I can't run it after this weekend.
Tommy really just spit
Well,
across
you
Saturday.
can run it, Dorian. Just dodge the matchup. That's all.
So,
But
so
to answer your
Just second
question, Clay, Black or Gray and War Gray got the training cards. Guess what's a searchable thing off of the training cards?
80s Force.
80s Force.
Put this kid back in jail.
remember, Jared, the
Right, which
strongest
is why I
Hades
have
force
it
is
in
in Shine.
competitive. That's why I have it in competitive. I think
Man, don't you dare.
it beats the majority of the tier 2 decks.
I'm trying to tell you, Jared, you're not hip. The strongest Hades force is in Shine. Not in
No,
any
we're
other
not
Greymon deck.
doing this. We are not doing this.
I think it belongs in playable because there's more things in playable that can square up with hunters than hunters can square up with competitive.
I think Hunters just takes a little too long now. Like everything I'm seeing in like highly competitive and competitive could just dunk on it by like turn 3 or 4. And
Yeah, anything
Well, that's
in
because we're also
competitive
getting like
is
a
just
large
while
equalizing
you're
force in these
whiffing-
training cards.
Exactly. While you're whiffing your third Damimon switch search, you already lost. So like,
Yo, relax.
I think Hunters can beat Beelzemon.
yeah.
No, it could definitely beat things in competitive, but is it really enough to put it in competitive considering the training cards in everything in 1.5 and up have the decks popping off on turn 2, turn 3 versus
let's look at
hunters,
it.
which takes like at least turn 4 or 5 to actually really pop off.
Let's look at it like this. Why not make it the bottom of competitive? Because it
I think
outspeeds
that's still giving
Crossheart.
it too much credit.
You think it's only playable? What about Are we getting the new option for it?
The Prism Guardian, yes.
We're
yes.
getting that?
Is that
That's part of
helpful?
it. That comes with like all the Dracomons too.
Really?
Okay.
All right. So let's put it at the top of playable because it's like towing the line.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm cool with that.
Fucking Hunters took my top spot in playable.
Here you go.
That's
I mean, it's the better deck, Dorian.
So here's what we got to do. We have to put everything in 1.5 into actually 1.75, and then Hunters could be the only thing in 1.5.
All right, Spider-Man, your favorite
Hilarious.
deck, Red Hybrid. Let's go.
Put it behind Blue Flare.
All right, sounds good.
That's
Okay.
ballsy.
No,
That's ballsy.
and just four.
I mean,
But you know, it literally just fucking face rolls you sometimes. So yeah, you're right.
Just fucking
I'm surprised I beat it with Crossheart.
Look, I just
Like,
need
that
to
shouldn't have
swing a
happened.
level 4 for 3 checks at 16k, and I'm good.
honestly.
Not to
Like,
mention,
I
we were-
don't want to give it that much credit because I don't think Hybrids is that good of a deck. But
You forget that
there's
we
just
also get the training cards.
you don't use the
You
trading
can't use them
cards.
though.
I can. I just
You
can't
can't-
use them to go into my level 4s.
That's like the whole thing.
right?
No,
Well,
no,
no,
technically you
search out
can if you move
gamers.
out of racing.
yeah.
Also,
That's the edge case.
Look,
Don't look
Hybrids
Like-
got nothing. It's not
Whoa,
that
hold.
great of a deck.
We got that Koromon. Hold on.
Yeah, they
No,
did.
no,
All
no,
right,
no,
the
that
no,
Koromon-
Koromon's
what's the
pretty
Koromon
solid.
do?
Yeah, that Koromon is pretty solid.
I'm gonna be honest.
But-
I'm gonna be
You
honest.
could also opt to play Gotsumon instead of Solarmon now if you're worried about your opponent flooding the board with bodies, because we did say this is a going wide format now.
I'm gonna be honest.
Oh,
Red
Red
that's
Hybrid is the best aggro deck in the game. Like just strictly.
That's because they literally just
It only goes.
slam their face on the keyboard and literally just roll it.
So I give it to the high top of competitive because it can really tilt the motherfucker.
Fine.
Yeah.
I can't fight you on that because there's gonna be a day where I'm playing a tournament. I'm gonna sit across from a red hybrid player, and I'm just gonna be dead.
That's what when you see a fucking like Flamemon raise out swinging 11k 3 checks, bro, it changes your life. It
Bro,
really
someone
changes your
did that to
life.
me in the tournament. I was like, God damn
This
it.
shit kind of makes you a little shook. I'm not gonna lie, bro.
DJ over here with flashbacks.
Bro, why is this rookie hitting so hard?
Simple.
Yeah.
I think it's like good where it is, where we put it, honestly.
TJ promotes out of raising. He's like, wait a minute, my security was just there. Where'd it go?
I'm like, damn, bro, I gotta square out with a rookie, bro. Can't block it. They're gonna gain like a million memory.
Yeah, that's the worst part.
Can't even
He's like, you mean I really have to swing this Bloom Lord into this Flamon just to make sure that I live? Man.
Yes.
This is the ultimate lose-lose scenario.
Not to
They killed
mention, if we go by our own tournament stats, Red Hybrids like cleat up.
It's undefeated in our server. They don't know how to beat it.
Server, dog.
Like a deck that's undefeated in our own server. How could we put it any lower than what we just put it now? You know, like,
They literally
All
cannot
right,
beat
so
this deck.
I'm a piggyback off of what I said for Hunters. We need to make another tier right above highly competitive. It's going to be Drake tier.
oh, true.
And the only deck in there is Red Hybrid.
It's gotta be Boncho Beatdown. It's gotta be Boncho Beatdowns here. We gotta name it that.
BB here.
BBT.
Okay, sure.
Oh shit, he's actually doing it.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Look at that. Red Hybrid. You made it, buddy.
But for anybody listening on YouTube, yeah, competitive's where it
Let's
really
go.
belongs.
It's
Yeah.
dangerous.
Top three competitive for sure.
All right. Take it away for the last one, Bloom player.
All right, this is
Top
this.
3 deck right there.
Okay, I'm not saying top 3, but Bloom.
I'm not legally allowed to let TJ put it anywhere because he's gonna underplay it. That
It's
shit's
top
highly
3.
competitive.
No,
It's
I'm
highly
not
competitive.
bullshitting you. Bloom is probably one of the top 3 decks in the game right now.
It's top 3.
It literally-
That fucking deck.
it's
It's so fast.
It's so fucking fast.
I never. I trashed the Mimi and checked the training, and I was still dead, regardless of whatever I hit.
And that was like one of the funniest
Right.
days I was testing against my worst matchup.
I would say put it under Yellow Vaccine because Yellow
No,
Vaccine
100%.
absolutely curb
Oh, yeah,
stomps
It
Bloom.
curve stomps it, but
Yeah,
everything else it can.
Yellow.
kinda shit
You
on everything
you
else.
see a Patamon flip over and you cry.
But my hardest
You go into
matchup.
beans and get shut down.
My hardest matchup for Bloom in Digimon history is Gallant. If Spider-Man could tell you now, with all the new shit I got, Gallant's like a 50-50 at this point. So
It's pretty much.
I used to always lose to Gallant, but now I feel like I got a fair shot. And then
Those
And
trainings
that's
help out a lot.
You're good into Gallant,
there.
but now you have a new fear. You see Patamon flip over, and TJ starts to cry. He just scoops up his car. He's like, "All right, well, I got 50 minutes to go find food."
swear to God, it's rough. It's a rough matchup. But with the Ukamons and like the new Mimi, the trainings, and the fact that we have courts, it's just insane. It's an insane fucking deck.
And then you gotta get Quantumon in the limited set.
Oh my God.
It's crack. It's actually crack.
Need them to take out Blossomon and HPD.
I don't
Like,
even think that will
this
help.
time.
I'm just
Those should have HPD should have been gone a long time ago, but we're not going to talk about that.
Look, I need it for Diabitmon.
I hate when I talk to people and they're like, HPD's not a toxic card. And I'm like, bro, you're not playing the deck correctly.
Bloom Lord?
I swear to God, if you're not winning the turn before or during the HPD, you're just garbage at the game.
Fucking Digizorp into Blossomon. Fucking HPD into fucking Hydramon.
Game memory.
Can't wait till Bandit takes that off the ban list.
They take HPD.
All right, when they free HPD,
I'm done
off
with
the
this
ban
game.
list. I'm sorry, I'm dropping Digimon like
I'm done with this game.
I'm running through the hills.
I'm done.
Now, man.
That is the
Fucking
day
every
we-
green deck is just gonna run 4 HPDs.
I'm running 4
You'll see.
HPDs just for the fuck of it.
You will see a nice little announcement in the server. You're gonna see it's been real, guys. Thanks for participating in all of our events. Thanks you for supporting us. Goodbye.
Yeah, we're a Pokemon TCG channel now.
Pokemon TCG.
Oh my God.
So this is the tier list.
Bandai does that. I gotta quit being a Drake. I'm sorry.
Dang, actual free agent.
I mean, look, Bandai folds the peer pressure. Look at Whitebeard.
I need to figure out what happened with that. But that's a conversation for later.
Yeah, man, that's at the end of the tier list, guys. If you want to win, just play Red Hybrid.
Actual factual.
Factual.
just burger flip everybody to death.
Flip everybody.
So how many people do you think are going to be playing Fenrir Lugamon?
A
A
lot.
lot. It's a deck that you can build primarily out of the set. It's going to be pretty affordable, and
It's
Yeah.
really good. It's really
a lot of
I mean,
people are going to be picking it up for the first month.
SRs, but other than that,
You need
Yes.
8 SRs?
Lugamon and Fenrir Lugamon are both SRs.
Oh, I thought you meant 8 different SRs. I don't know.
No.
Mm.
I got so worried.
A lot of people are going to be picking it up. It's a purple doggy.
Yellow Vaccine requires 3 SRs.
It's going to be a
It's
deck
12.
that you can build out of the set with very little investment into previous stuff, and most of the previous stuff got reprinted, so it's low value. And it's the Boogeyman coming over from Japan, so a lot of people are just going to hop on it because of how popular and good it was over there. A lot of people are going to pick it up for the first month, realize it's not as easy or as good as everybody was making out to be, and they're going to drop it like a bad habit.
I mean, the hardest card you gotta get for Fenrir Lugamon is actually just Analog Youth.
Yeah.
$10.
Is he $10?
Damn.
He's
yeah.
almost there.
Hey, bro.
He costs half a box of EX1.
Really goes to show how cheap EX1 is right now.
It's like
I just gets to show how good the investment is.
That shows how much a box of Battlespheres is.
Stop.
all right, that's enough.
Enough.
Thank you guys for
That's
coming
the end
to
of the tier
podcast.
list.
That's the end of the tier list.
Thanks, Hater Man, for ruining it for everybody else.
Bless you.
I got an honorable mention. It's probably not good, but Lord Knight.
Who?
Only
A playable.
Lord Knight only because of the new Nightmare.
Yeah.
They
That's a keep it at locals. Don't even bother
Yeah,
worrying about it.
I think it's to keep it at locals, but that Nightmon I feel like can get crazy if in
What's
set
it do?
set 16 we get a little, we get a little bit
I
more.
think unless you play
Oh,
level
we
3
might
as
get
an
Lord
inheritor.
Knight X.
Yeah, unless
Yeah.
you 3 as an inheritable one. I think it does minus 3K for each thing you control.
It does on play. It's a block. It's a 7K blocker on play when digivolving. One of your opponent's Digimon gets -3 for the turn for each of your Digimon. Inheritable all turns. When another Digimon attacks, you can play one yellow or black level 3 Digimon from your hand without paying the cost.
That sounds like fun. I might actually have to bring Lord Knight back just to bullshit around.
It's
you and me both.
insane card.
I will say one other honorable mention. Tyrannomon's probably somewhere in Keep It at Locals, but if built correctly, maybe bottom of playable. That is all, because that new Tyrannomon that we get is really fun.
I still don't. I'm sorry, Saki. I will always have my cope.
I still don't believe.
It's just I don't know what the deck's doing.
That new Tyrannomon.
Oh, that's what I said. Keep it at locals.
Spider-Man. Tyrannomon has been getting support since BT-1.
I see a new Tyrannomon every set.
It still doesn't know what it's doing.
Whoa,
That's the worst part.
It's not every set, but I will say
Shit, you can throw whatever you want in that deck. It's just I don't know what it's doing. It seems like it's just a bad Grandis at times.
Yeah, that's why I just keep it at locals. If built correctly though, I did see one of our mod sizes could go crazy with it in testing. I was like, okay, it has playable potential, but keep it at locals pending any good players who want to carry the deck.
I would keep it under locals and then
put it under the locals.
See, honestly, if they built it.
I will give
if
credit.
they built it like Diabetmon where you can attack at the end of your turn, it actually would have been a better deck.
You can.
I will personally go out and buy you a shovel so that you can bury it under Gritty.
I will give the new Tyrannomon stuff that new BT-14 Tyrannomon is kind of cracked because it's not once per turn.
Yeah, really you can do it up your whole line.
Yeah. And on top of that, it does let you attack at the end of your turn, like you mentioned with the inheritable.
Yeah, y'all just need to get yourself a Ruli.
You just need an identity.
All I gotta say about that deck, it's great in tutorial app meta. That's all I can say.
The what?
Tutorial app.
Tutorial app.
Bro, use it to teach the game. Don't do anything else.
Tutorial app meta.
All right, let's wrap this up. We've been at this shit for an hour and a half. Let's wrap it up.
I gotta get ready for bed and all that. Thank you guys so much for watching. We got some announcements tomorrow. Be sure to tune in. Any closing remarks for anyone else? Or
this is not gospel. This is a prediction. So don't go crazy in the comments once you see a Diarbitmon deck win a locals.
That's already happened.
Show me a better tier list.
New format. Who this?
Diarbitmon.
Try that shit again while I'm there. I guarantee you will not be the winner.
Well,
listen, you weren't there.
Wait, hold on. Quick disclaimer for anyone who may have skipped to the end to see what the final tier list was. Yo, Red Hybrids is 3rd in competitive. That's just Boncho beat down tier because we were meaning. Quick disclaimer.
Zaki, I see you're a hater. You're giving context.
Oh, of course. And that means you're like-minded because you just gave a context for my hating. I appreciate you, brother.
All right, good night, everybody.